and it won't stop. Oh, oh. And it won't stop. With every single part of me, my love for you is constantly forever and ever on repeat, and it won't stop.
So that was the YouTube commercial for East Africa match. I think it's a great idea to film on.
Impressive. When I first saw it, I was really blown away by the concept and just doing a site for Eritrean, Ethiopian, Somalian, and just getting everybody from the Horn of Africa. It's a very unifying website.
Yeah, and we were talking about this earlier, right? It's just the idea that there's so few spaces that actually bring all of East Africa together, right? And it being a relationships website and a community building website, I think is just amazing. And so right now we will be bringing on Amir Yusuf to talk about the website eastafricamatch.com. Amir, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. Amir, thank you for coming on the radio program Youth Hour and talking to us about this great idea that you had.
No, thank you for having me. Happy Easter to everybody out there.
Happy Easter. So, Amir, can you just make sure that your phone has good connection and all that? I think we're getting a little bit of interference.
Oh, sorry. I think there's like a little of a backlog.
Okay,
Can you
perfect.
guys hear me?
Yes, perfect. We're good now.
Yeah, I'll be here just fine. Okay, great. So, someone you want to ask some of the first few questions?
Basically, we just want to get an idea. When did this idea come to, how did it come into being, and then what was your motivation for starting the website?
Oh, okay. Well, I started this website, well, the idea I actually formulated a couple of years ago, based on a conversation that I was having with my uncle, actually. And it's something that I've been wanting to develop, but obviously I got caught up in my career and other aspirations that I'm finally kind of making it into fruition point. One thing that one of the major motivating factors for this website is being Eritrean. I knew I'm Eritrean, but I still had a disconnection with my community because, again, I was so wrapped up with my career and with finishing my studies and everything like that. So I wanted to start something that centralizes everybody in a specific online realm.
Interesting. Overall, what made you call it East Africa Match instead of just like Habesha or something, something general like that? What made you call it East Africa Match?
I originally, I was playing obviously with the idea of Habesha Match and other, but I feel like the whole Eastern Africa, I think we are one community. I think there are certain parties we're all individual in our own ways, but so many people are trying to divide us into our own specific spaces. But I felt East Africa, we're all one. We share the same culture almost, and we're just one community. So I felt like it was just a centralized name that depicted all of the Horn.
Interesting. Going back to the focus on the Horn of Africa, I see there's a lot of nationality and also just different religion within the profile on the website. I've been checking it out, and it's interesting that you're able to attract a diverse crowd, a diverse set of ethnicity, and just it's amazing. So how were you able to attract just people who are Christian, Muslim, and just everywhere?
Well, first of all, I feel like it's the first site of its kind, right? So that in itself was going to attract a great group of people. And it's just one of those things that, I feel like even people who are not, as myself, growing up, I was always in the community, and then once I went off to college and went to graduate school, I kind of lost touch with that community, but that little part of community was always in me, so naturally I've always wanted to search for something out there, and I know I met a lot of other professionals or other East Africans my age who are always looking for that kind of connection community, so right away it attracts itself. Once people hear about it, they always think it's a great idea.
Okay, excellent. And can you tell us just how long the website's been around?
Well, the website, we did a soft launch starting last summer, actually at the end of the summer, December. So our official launch is actually at the end of this year. Right now we're just trying to get all the bugs out of the system and just trying to create like a neutral place for people to get their names out. We have a marketing campaign that's coming out that's going to be launching within the next couple of weeks, and we're partnering with some great actual East African businesses to launch this platform. So official launch is at the end of the year, so we've only been around for less than a year.
Excellent, excellent. And so I know that we talked a little bit just now about your own background and how that played into the website. So I mean, what was there? Was it just sort of a large realization over a long period of time, or was there something that clicked for you that made you think, the situation in our community isn't so great, maybe we need to start a website?
Well, I think being first generation to grow up in North America or wherever you are in Europe, or I think we all share the same thing, I really see there's a kind of an identity crisis that's actually, from what I observed, but also from what I experienced myself, especially in North America. If we focus on North America, there's a cultural disparity between actually being African American to being East African, and I don't believe this is properly appropriated. I think it's one of those things that there's a division within our youth, I feel, and it's which formed me to actually begin this website. We're so quick to just wanting to be African American, or don't know if we're East African, that we kind of get lost in our culture. So I think it's something that was brought up for that one specific reason, for myself anyways.
Okay, then maybe delve into that a little deeper. So maybe talking about the state of our communities in general, but relationship building and just dating and friendships in particular. So you think identity plays somewhat of a role in it, is what I'm hearing you say? Yeah,
well, like, taking in effect in America, right now, like, America as a whole, America's so quick to just label you that you barely get a split chance to actually realize who you are. So what I mean by that is just the majority of our youth are put into this category of being African American, which I feel is a very vague term because it labels and generalizes African Americans that were originally brought here probably in the 18th century, 19th century for slavery with no exact roots. Whereas being East African, we know where we're from. We know exactly, we can tie our roots, we can tie our lineage. So I think it's and here we just get caught up with being African American that we just kind of lose touch with being East African, right?
Great points. Overall, how would you perceive a non-East African visiting your site and just enjoying the site overall?
I welcome it with open arms. I feel like everywhere I go, somebody knows. Whether they're East African or not, they know of East Africa. But it's just a place to actually learn more about us, more of our culture, our communities. And if you want to be a part of it, we'll welcome that as well. Like, it's not something that's supposed to be specifically just for East Africans, but it's just more of a hub to get more information, to learn more, and to understand more, right?
Definitely.
So then maybe going back to this idea of dating in our communities and how identity plays a role in that, how do you see the situation in terms of dating today within the larger East African community, but very specifically in the Eritrean community?
Well, right now in the Eritrean dating, I think, is a very fragile state, especially when you're looking at it from girls or guys, but especially when you look at it from the girls' point of view. Like, we're such a small community, and essentially I feel like any news travels like wildfire, especially with women, and they're very, very protective of that. So I feel like there's two stages right now in Eritrean dating, where there's the young stage when you're just dating and, you know what I mean, just getting to know one another or whatever. And then there's a second stage when it comes a little bit later in life when you're dating with the deliberate goal of actually leading to marriage. And I think those are two very different states. But I will make a bold statement out there. Right now, I feel, from what I've seen in that outpour that I've gotten since this website has been created, Eritrean men, we have our pick of women. I'm not lying. There's so many beautiful women out there that are well-rounded. And honestly, I hear from them all the time. There's no good Eritrean men out there, which is not true, obviously. But right, I just feel like it's
this is
very fragile state.
Expand on that. Expand on that. So this is something that we commonly hear, and I won't give my opinion just yet on it. But how do you feel about that idea? That as far, I mean, do we think that it's sort of just a difference in terms? Is it just a ratio problem, like the girls outnumber the guys? Is it actually sort of a success issue? What break that down? This idea that there aren't successful.
I think it's a little bit of everything. There is a little ratio problem, but I think it's us guys knowing that there's so many women out there. Like, I feel like for us, it's a lot easier to just wait on it a little bit longer. Whereas the women, I feel like they're looking for quality men, but they're also, at the end of the day, they're not going to wait until they're 40, right? Whereas the men, we can wait until 35, and then go back and marry at 25. Whereas the women don't really have that option, or it seems almost quote-unquote taboo for them to date younger, right? So that's the disparity we're kind of dealing with right now. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where we're currently standing, and I think we need to change that a little bit, right? So that's why when we have the website, it's encompassing the whole world, because, you know what I mean? You can't just look within your own neighborhood or ask your parents, because that doesn't really work out these days.
You definitely touched on a topic that's discussed on social media heavy. The issue is there's a feeling that the Eritrean women in the diaspora are stepping up as far as their career, their success in the academic world, and the Eritrean men are somewhat lagging behind, and then this affects their dating choices. Sometimes they have to go outside the community because they don't see a lot of Eritrean men stepping up. So how do you view do you think that's the one of the reasons why Eritrean women are not some of them are not happy with the dating situation within the community?
Yeah, but I think it's also where you're looking. A lot of the times these women are looking only within, they don't really have any other than honestly asking family members or maybe catching them on a wedding or whatever. They don't really have an opportunity to see outside. Yeah, I feel like the women are stepping up as far as their career aspirations and everything like that, but I think the men are also doing the same thing. Like, taking case for myself, when I went to law school, like, I never went to any community events. I didn't know anything about our community. I didn't try to mingle because I was just so focused on my studies, and there's so many men out there. There is so many. Like, I lived in New York last year, and the amount of young professionals that have no idea of where to look for other people their age and what they're actually quote unquote looking for is amazing. It's astounding, and I was impressed, blown away by it. But I think it's just you just have to know where you're looking. So I think if you create something that's central where everybody can come down to, I think it makes it that much easier. But there is a disparity between men and women as far as career and goal-driven individuals.
Yep. And so, taking a step back then, because I think we could talk about the issue of dating in our community for so long, and it's a hot button topic because it gets to like it touches you personally, right? Like, you start to think, am I doing enough, right, to either find that person, or am I doing enough to either build my success up? But I guess taking a step back and thinking about sort of why you built the site then. Obviously, there seems like there's a big gap when it comes to Eritrean dating. What are some of the traditional ways now that, if all else fails, folks tend to find their significant other?
Well, for men, it's pretty simple. I'll just go back. The mentality is I'm just going to go back home and just find somebody. Where it's not really, women don't really rely on that at all. Whereas the women, I think they rely more on family or and things of that nature to actually assist them in getting married. So that's where we're standing at right now, and really that's I don't feel like it's actually working out from where we're standing right now.
Sure. What are some of the limitations that you see with those kind of models?
Well, I don't know. You say you always hear the expression your parents know what's best for you, but I honestly don't think that's always true. I feel like a lot of people are set to settle almost, like especially women. If they're waiting a little bit later in life. I met women that are like 35 and 40 that are just getting married for the sake of getting married because they don't want to actually wait any longer, postpone having a family or anything like that. So those are kind of the drawbacks that you're kind of seeing with that.
So you're seeing people settle, and you're seeing people who hold off until the very end.
Exactly. But the only difference is, like, even back in, if you look at our parents and their generation before them, I feel like there was a lot of settling, but it was more like accepting it. Yes, I'm going to accept this is my role or whatever. But so the idea of divorce was never nothing that nobody ever pursued. Whereas now it's just like, if I don't like this person, I'll just get a divorce. That seems like an easy solution for anybody, right?
Hey, and just a quick technical note, Amir, if you could just again just check your phone and make sure you have the full like 5 or 6 bars there. Just want to make sure that we're getting.
Yeah, I'm actually on a line.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Okay.
We're getting a little bit of interference, but we can hear you pretty clearly. Yep.
You mentioned your Eritrean parents' expectation, and that generation usually dating think about their individual needs. It's more of marriage was more of like making your parents proud or your village or you're just it's just more of like a collective focus generation. Do you think our generation is ready to be that patient to make that sacrifice as far as relationship, marriage, or how much do you think the Western lifestyle has influenced our generation and diaspora?
It influenced us tremendously. I think we're more selfish, and I think like where our parents were more selfless in their actions, whether everything was done for their family. With our generation, is more if I'm not happy with it, that's it. And I think it's almost like two ends of the spectrum when it comes to dating, whereas the parents, they're so selfless that they never really did anything for themselves. And with our generation, we're just so selfish that we're just kind of holding off. I don't know if selfish is the right word, but it seems to fit right now, right?
I get it. I get your point. Another thing is, how did your parents perceive you? How did they look at you when you started this website? Basically, what was the reaction from your community in Canada, or just overall from your family?
Overall, like honestly, because online dating is still, especially in our community, it's very taboo. Like again, because once you're putting yourself out there in a community that's already so small, right? Mm-hmm. So everybody knows your business. I've been getting like from my family. Like I don't know how to explain my mom's reaction. I don't know if she was kind of embarrassed or you know what I mean, because it's just like nothing has ever been done of this sort. So it's just like, you know what I mean. They're kind of blown away by a lot of people. But then the other end of the spectrum, I get a lot of parents who actually approach me. It's like, this is exactly what we need. So it's great to see that.
Yep. So thinking about then the situation of dating in the community, we know that it's tough to find people. We know that it's tough to make those kind of connections in a huge way, in a very significant way. We know that people don't want to wait around, and we know that some people are actually settling. So how does your website come in to fix some of those problems?
Well, again, like you don't have to compromise. Like I feel like with the way things are right now, people are compromising with what they're looking for because they're not getting it. With the website, that's what the website is creating, I feel. Like it's creating a point where you don't have to compromise. You can be as specific as you want. You can get to know somebody on your own terms. And that's also another big issue. When somebody knows, like if you rely on your parents to set you up with somebody, it's almost like creating this expectation that you're going to marry that first person you talk to, which is kind of annoying because your family is all in your business. Whereas this is you're getting to know on your own terms, right? You're taking your time to actually get to know if this is the right person for you without no perceptions of your parents knowing about it and if it's going to affect your decision in any way, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's like you're setting up those relationships and getting to know the person on your terms, right? As much as you want to reveal at whatever time is comfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think your website just comes at a perfect time. Outside of the community, I think online dating has become less of a stigma for people around the world, and I think your site just came at a perfect time. So my question is just more about IT startups, the whole idea of just starting a website or just any type of IT related company or just application. Just wondering, did you have any team or a team of developers, or is this just more of your passion that drove it, or just did you have a team to help you start the website?
Definitely, I started the website, and I've on my own passion, on my own terms, kind of. But right now, as it's progressing, I think people are actually seeing what I see out of it, so they've been jumping on board. And so I have a team right now, working well with the team. Right now, we are looking to hire a marketing company, and we've been interviewing several candidates in regards to that aspect to help us launch our idea. And in a proper way, which is the very most important part. Whether you just have to do it properly. There's a lot of companies out there, but if you're not going to initiate it properly, then you don't want to get a bad stigmatism attached to your name right away. So it's very important how you start it.
Then along those lines, I mean, if you could explain to us sort of how the business model side of it works. How are you guys either making money off this website or just developing enough sort of revenues to kind of keep the website up and running?
Actually, everything right now is coming out of my pocket. We came tremendously out of pocket, and that's the thing. We're not really looking to generate an income from this site. I'm not expecting anything from this site for a few years, actually. And when we do turn an income, it's only based on users, where the money's not going to be coming out of the user's pocket. Like right now, you can take advantage of the site. It's absolutely free. There's no charge. You talk to as many people as you want. You can speak to as many people as you want. You can view as many pictures as you want. It doesn't matter. It's absolutely free. There's no charge to the end user. And I know there's a couple competitors out there, but they're charging upwards to $40 a month. Like it's hard enough to get people online. How are you going to ask them for money, right? So.
That's exactly. I was about to say that's a better deal than in some of the other major dating websites out there.
Yeah, and there are, but I think it's like when you have that in mind, like when we're trying to create a great user-friendly site from the user's perspective, so that one of the best ways to do that is having no charge. So right away, you're not attached to anything, right? It's absolutely free. You can do whatever, you can check out whatever you want. But with that being said, if you do abuse any other users or anything like that, you will be handled in a professional and dealt with in that manner.
Definitely. And, so like you said, no sort of upfront commitment you need to make, but then all the benefits, all the possibilities of benefiting either in dating or even just, and I know you talk about this a lot as far as community, right? Just like it's not just about sort of finding that future wife or husband. It's about also just kind of building connections across communities.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I really am looking forward to with the site is our community page, which we'll be launching at the end of this year. And what that is supposed to encompass is, like, for me being a user coming into, let's just say when I went to New York, I didn't know any Eritreans. I didn't know anybody in the community. But the whole point of the community page is you can look up pretty much wherever you go, whether you're visiting or you just relocated to a new area. Worldwide, you're able to check out any local events, any guaylas, restaurants, anything you really want within your community.
Just going back to the focus of just the site being a unifying, Horn of Africa. Do you think our generation is less focused on the stigma of dating outside of their nationality, like Eritrean dating Somalia, Eritrean dating Ethiopian, or Ethiopian dating Somali, vice versa? Do you think our generation is less focused on the issue of nationality, more just just the relationship aspect?
I think it's tough when you say that. It depends on the individual. Some people are looking for only within their nationality, and others are more open to the Horn of Africa, and others are looking elsewhere. But the whole point is just creating again a community sense. But if you are looking for somebody within your community, like naturally for myself speaking, I'm looking for somebody within my community, right? Just because it makes things a lot easier. I don't know, as you go along, and maybe that's not a great answer, but like for me, it is. That's how I feel. I feel like I don't want to have to explain to somebody what Injeta is. You know what I mean? I want somebody to be able to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that aspect of it, and even the small little cultural differences that we have with one another. I think it's easier to work with than looking elsewhere from my own perspective.
And so thinking about sort of bridging cross-community divides, right? Sort of creating relationships across different nationalities, different ethnicities. It seems to me that EastAfricanMatch.com represents sort of a creation of a new sort of space when you think about merging various communities that represent East African heritage or East Africa directly. Do you, from your perspective, is that how you kind of perceive it when you're building this website out and kind of bringing these groups together? Do you view them as disparate groups who need a common space to kind of communicate what are probably already common sort of heritages and storylines and all that? Or do you see sort of I guess my basic question would be, to what extent do you think sort of this East Africa thing that you're developing, to what extent is it a new thing in regards to bringing East Africans together?
I think it's very new because it's one thing, like, personally, I'm into politics and to a certain degree, and
hey man, you're Eritrean.
Pardon me?
You're Eritrean. That's a given.
Yeah, but I'm also into politics as the whole of Africa, the continent of Africa, and the whole U.S., the whole Europe. I'm into all sorts of politics, and I feel like you got to look at most of these political agendas right now. It's always about nationality, and all of us are very rich in culture and history and cultivating that. But also, at the end of the day, I think we also got to remember we're the Horn of Africa, East Africa as itself. I think it's a very up and coming community, especially in Africa. I really believe, this is my own belief. I think there's going to be a reverse migration within the next 10 to 20 years. And you're already seeing a reverse migration right now with Ethiopia having a booming economy, and I think it's going to be the same with Somalia being at a pivotal point right now. And same with Eritrea once we're able to stabilize ourselves, where I think there's going to be a reverse migration. I, myself, would love to go back home and to work there and give my services there. But I think we're all, at the same time, we're all one community in that sense. And you got to be wary of certain political agendas nowadays that are trying to divide East Africa as a whole, whether it be the United States or it could be China. They're all looking to divide us apart. And I feel like when you divide each one of us apart, we're becoming weaker as a community, and it's easier to pick on. And I always ask myself, what is the interest with the United States and East Africa? Like, they have such a huge interest in the Horn of Africa, and a lot of people don't understand it, and they're too worried about nationalism and everything. But I think you got to think a little bit outside of it and worry about what these major powers, what are their political agendas with the whole Horn of Africa. If you look at individually, we're very, very small, but like as a whole, like we could be a superpower, right?
Yep, unifying message. Going back to your launch of your site, what campaign are you doing as far as promotion? Because the first promo run was great, and do you have any other plans?
Yeah, definitely we do. We have we're gonna one of the aspects that we're looking to create is having several commercials that are ongoing from that point. That first commercial was just an intro commercial, just supposed to introduce you to that idea of the whole website. Ongoing from there, we do have other aspects that we're looking to put into place. We're going to have monthly commercials, just small little ads that are going to be running, as well as a video blog that's going to be going. And I think it's going to we're trying to create like a viral marketing campaign where it's we're going to be touching on topics in the dating realm, in the community realm, that just maybe not touched all the time, but maybe people have questions, but we can direct it directly towards the video blog, and that should be starting before the summer.
Are you actually doing events offline as well?
Yes, we've actually had one of our first events. We've had several events since last summer. Our latest event was with actually Bella Bride, which is another East African country that showcased African weddings, and it was a great event. It was happening February 1st. We have actually our wrap-up video that's going to be coming out next week, so we'll love to shoot that out to you. So look forward to that. It was a great event, and it was just young professionals that are meeting for the first time, and it was a great turnout. You go see the video.
Great, can't wait.
And so, thinking about this relationship with Bella Bride, talk about sort of the significance of that for your own company, but then just also kind of the community in general.
Well, I think it's as being an East African company, I relish in actually working with other East African companies, up and coming companies that are just. I think we need to support each other in that way, and it's a great viewpoint that we're able to work with one another. And I look forward to working with other companies, and we've already have some other talks with several different other artists and other bloggers that are going to be coming into play.
That's great. It sounds like there's a lot of potential behind what you started here.
Yes, definitely, and we're looking forward to it. So any support was greatly appreciated.
Beautiful. And then just to quickly go back to your talk about sort of building East Africa as a whole. So I know you talked about sort of this reverse migration, brain gain, some people call it, of a lot of young folk eventually going back to Eritrea, going back to other countries in East Africa. How do you view then, so that's a pretty long-term vision that you have, and I think a lot of us share. I know I've been thinking about it a lot. To what extent do you think your website plays a role in sort of achieving that larger vision?
Ideally, like I see, like when you look at our 5-year viewpoint, like I think it's the relationship aspect is tremendous. It's going to be remarkable what's going to be created from this, and what we're potentially trying to create from this. It's going to play a pivotal point as far as having a centralized community again, and that's like one of our major focuses is having something that's central, where people can go to and get information, and businesses, whether it's matchmaking or even whatever type of business you have. So I think it's going to play a pivotal role.
Excellent. And thinking about sort of the events that you have planned, can we expect East Africa Match to be a visible presence at any upcoming events among Eritrean youth? Yeah, what we're looking to do right now is just focus on one major event. We haven't decided if it's going to be the Eritrean Festival or is it going to be the soccer festival this year. But we're just going to be focusing on one and just spreading the word there. So look forward to upcoming events as well. We spoke about another event that's happening in D.C., preferably in the summer, and that's going to be with Bella Bride, and we're really looking forward to that.
Do you actually do you have other people that they can go to a Somali event or an Ethiopian event to promote your site? Is that your focus as well, in addition to Eritrean community events?
Yeah, for sure. We have, like, again, every community has almost like there's Ethiopian festival, there's Somali festival. So we're going to be in each event. We're going to be showing a presence to that.
Great.
Excellent. So I think that is pretty much all the questions that we have lined up for you today, Amir. Was there any sort of shout-outs you wanted to make, any concluding messages you wanted to give before we drop?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for guys for including me on your show. I really look forward to being a part of your show more, and even making you guys a part of the website in some aspects of it. I thank all the users, everybody who showed any kind of support for the website. I really thank them. I thank any partnerships that we have with Bella Bride, The Horn, and Saving the Horn. We appreciate all our community and all our relationships that we currently have ongoing. Beautiful. And for more information, can you, what's the website? Are there other sort of social media addresses you want to drop? Yeah, you can visit us at www.eastafricamatch.com. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at info@eastafricamatch.com. You can also visit our Facebook page, which is just East Africa Match.
Great.
Perfect. Amir Yusuf, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, guys.
And
I really appreciate you guys having me.
Definitely. And we wish you nothing but the best for this website. We'll definitely be available to help out. If you have any connections that you want to make for us, we'd be happy to receive those connections. I
didn't know you guys were looking.
Only slightly joking on that. Only slightly joking. But yeah.
But overall, thank you for coming on the show. It's pretty, it's a great vision you have, and it's very unifying. We really appreciate what you're doing online and offline as well.
No, thank you guys for having radio shows such as this that actually connect us. I haven't heard of anything like this yet, so I'm really happy when I hear of young individuals doing it. So keep at it.
Perfect. Thank you, brother. All right, we will be talking to you soon. Thanks again.
All right, take care, guys.
All right.
Bye now.